Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. It's here, Wednesday, first market close in July. So that's pretty darn exciting. And I finally get to turn the sign onto green. So that's always exciting as well. Holy banana bread. This is great. We're here. Let's have some fun. Let's first of all start with, you know what, the market. There's a lot of interesting things going on the market. Here we go. Just give me a second here. I will pull this up. Okay. You'll see on the side, you'll see right away. We've got a big moonshot happening here on this chart. Whose chart is it? It's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking a little bit in the opposite direction. This is Tesla. Tesla has done it. So Tesla had their earnings. They ended up shipping more cars than anticipated, and the market is loving Tesla right now. And as you can see, those of you who are either in Tesla themselves, maybe in the CDR, or maybe on that YTSL, you guys have done well over the beginning parts of July. So month's off to a good start for you guys. Looking at the market, though, like I said, we got a pretty good day. The TSX is up more than a full percent, so 1.12%. S&P 500, it's up about 0.5%, so not too shabby. Nasdaq's up 0.87%. Gold's up 1%. Silver's up 3%. Silver's lately has been outdoing gold at almost every turn. Oil's up, and then of course we got Bitcoin. Bitcoin not doing so well today. So they're down at 3.49%, but we'll look at that a little bit later for sure. Okay, look at our heat map for Canada. It's nice to see the green in here. It is nice. Look at this over here. Loblaw's up 1.58%. We got CP. CP's doing great, up 2.71%. Yep, the banks are all up a little bit. Royal Bank a little more, 1.38%, not too shabby. Couple of outliers, Bank of Nova Scotia. So Scotiabank is down today. So yeah, it's not that bad looking of a market. And of course, Alimentation Couche-Tard, they are up as well, just a little bit, 0.43%. So not too shabby on the Canadian market. Looking at our ETFs, of course, VFV, once again, still doing great. They're up 0.10%. The war between VEQT and XEQT, XEQT has it today. They're up a little bit more, 0.68% to the 0.5%. Over on the American Tesla. What is Tesla doing there? Yeah, look at this. This is another chart of Tesla. This is what happens when Tesla has good earnings. And I am sad. I am very sad to say I did not move in and get a swing going on Tesla. I missed this one train, but I know a lot of you guys didn't miss it, and I'm absolutely awesomely happy for you guys. So we'll talk about that once we get to the chat here in a moment. But we wanted to look at the American. So yeah, look at this. Apple's up a bit. Nvidia's bouncing back up 4.57%. And of course, Tesla down here, up 6.54% on the day, but they were up a big time yesterday as well. Just insanely. They've had an insane couple of days, so nothing too shabby about that. And, oh gosh, it's time to go to crypto. So we've been looking at all of this green stuff. Cover your eyes, folks. This is going to be red. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got a lot of red here. Oh, I don't need this list up what I'm doing here. Okay. So Bitcoin down 3.71%. Ethereum is down. Solana, look at that, down 8.94%. Come on, Solana, you can do better. And, well, I have to switch my mouse. I was on the wrong mouse. I need this mouse I need my Apple mouse to do it because my Apple mouse has better controls. All right, let's find some random crypto coin I've never heard of. All right, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Oh, here we go. Oh no, we got to go with this one. So here's a coin I have never heard of. It's called Cat in a Dog's World. I gotta kind of like this coin. I know nothing about it. I would never buy it, but it's at least moving sideways, and it's got a great name, Cat in a Dog's World. So, and hello, and here's their is this their actual thing, MUSD? That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Like I said, there's a lot of crazy crypto out there that I've never heard of. That's just another example. Next market close, we'll find another one that I've never heard of. I kind of like doing that. Speaking of the next market close, by the way, I did say I would give you an opportunity for a Friday close. So if by the end of the stream we've done our typical 4 supers, we get a Friday close. Simple as that. All right, that's it. We're done. Let's head into the chat and talk to you guys here. All right, there we go. Bringing me up a full size. And we start with Al Bundy with a good day. We got Sammer in the house. We got Mary hit the like button in the house. So hit that like button, folks. Harold's in the house. Hello, Harold. Good to see you. Chad is in the house. Good day. Told you Tesla would come back. Self-driven out and August 2, I heard. Okay. I like that. I've always sort of maintained, because a lot of times it's one of the big questions I get when Tesla's not doing well. I get, hey, are they ever going to do well? Is it over for Tesla? And I always say this one thing, that Tesla, no matter how many times they've been counted down and out for the count, they find a way to come back. They always do. And it looks like they're in the process of doing that right now. So, yeah, those of you who have held it true to your love for Tesla, congratulations. You have been justified today. Well, and yesterday. All right. Larry says, getting ready to buy puts on Tesla, 250 to 260 range. Interesting. And now this here, oh my gosh, look at this. So you rode the 2X Tesla Bull ETF, 7 to 14. Oh gosh, I'll tell you, that Tesla Bull, I would the amount of money you could have made on that just the last couple of days, definitely a good opportunity there. But you know what? It's this is the way the market works, right? You can't really predict what's going to happen. So a lot of times you miss some of these, but the occasional person gets in there nice. Ricardo is in the house, and Sammer says, I'm up $100 per share on Tesla. $100 per share. Now, that sounds impressive, but how many shares? How many shares? Because every single, 1 share is impressive. 2 shares, pretty impressive. 100 shares, holy banana bread impressive. So, just something to keep in mind. All right. Ricardo says, so after talking in the chat last week, I decided to go with PRTS. I ended up picking up MDV. I bought 30 shares at $13.92. Okay. Well, keep me posted. Keep the chat posted. We'll see how this goes, because I love hearing about these, hearing about some of your guys' little journeys when it comes to investing, and that sounds like it'll be fun. Let's see. Ricardo's telling Al that he was up 1.5% today. So a good day. Yeah. I think a lot of people are doing well today. So that's kind of fun. All right. Sammer says, I'm going to sell my BNS tomorrow. Today is ex-dividend and buy BTCC. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's down right now. And, I'm still pretty bullish. And I'm really thinking it's one of these things, like, I'm just going to sit back and watch what happens. But I have a feeling that give it another couple of months and we'll be singing different stories than what we're singing now, for sure. All right. Al says, Gratz, 1.5% is better than nothing, but do you have very much invested? Okay. And this is going back to Ricardo. Nice. Jordan is in the house. Good afternoon, Candace. Hope you and chat are well. Absolutely. All right. And look at this. We got ourselves a super in here with a hamburger hot dog. Not too shabby. You know, why have only one, right? You can have the best of both worlds. Anyway, thank you, Larry. That puts us 3 away from a Friday show. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. All right. I'm gonna start when you guys are talking to each other in the chat. I'm gonna start just because we do get a little busier. I'm gonna start skipping those ones just because, like, you guys can have your own little individual conversations in the chat, and that's fine. Unless you say something that's really, really interesting, and I think the rest of us want to jump on it, or I want to jump on it. Yeah. So anyway, let's get down here. Mary says, "Go CSU." Yes, yes, absolutely. And Vic is always cheering on Constellation Software. I don't know where Vic is right now. He's probably in a car racing home to try to catch the stream. Sammer said just 35 shares of TSLA. Well, you know what? If you're up $100 per share, that's 3,500. So that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all. And Chad's mentioning that BCE got hammered hard yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday was just not a great day. And that's a funny thing. When you look at the TSX today, it looks like we had a really good day on the market. But in a sense, part of that is just recovering from yesterday. So some of that growth that we see today is really just filling in the hole we dug yesterday. But we'll still take it. We'll still take it. Yield max day is Friday. Ooh, interesting. All righty. Al says, I'm still down 27K from my all-time high a few weeks ago. Ooh. 27,000. But there's also, and this is the thing too, you have to sort of look at portfolio size, right? A really big portfolio being down 27,000 is not really that much compared to, like, if your portfolio was only $100,000 and you're down 27,000, then that's a little bit of a big deal. But if you're actually working with, like, let's say 500,000, 27,000, not great, but it's not as bad. So just something to put in there. Is BCE a buy now, or just keep waiting for it to drop more? That's the question. That is the question. Now, I did get into BCE for the challenge. I've looked at it. I've always been looking at it this way. We're close to the bottom. We're probably not at the bottom, but we're close. So I kind of still go. I would say with BCE, it never hurts to start a DCA on it, especially if you're planning to ride it back up. All right. And Jonathan says, I made it pre-bell. Best Wednesday. Yeah, absolutely. We're about a minute and 20 seconds away from that bell. All right. And Meow is saying, tap that like. So yeah, absolutely. Hit the like button. All right, guys, I'm going to have a drink of coffee. And I'll let you know if I can taste some of that blue in there. So you got nothing to watch while I drink this coffee. So hit the like button. It'll give you something to do. I did taste a little blue. So thank you. Thank you to the 3 of you, or 4, that hit the like button. I am appreciating that. Larry says, be right back, logging into my burgers profile. Okay. I don't know what that means, but maybe Larry Burger is about to log into the chat. I don't know. We'll have to sort of see. So we get about, not that long. Oh, there we go. Here's what that means. Burgers times 2. Burger. Okay. Nice. Gotta like it. You gotta like it. Creative. We got about 15 seconds. Not even 15. We're down to like 10 seconds from the market close. So always a fun day. Good to sort of close out a green day, put it behind us. And yeah, here we go. There we go. I went really hard on it because you know what? We're coming off of a long weekend. Why not? Whew. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, the market is behind us. Now, I was reading today in the news a little bit about some shorters. Apparently, some people are out there starting to short Air Canada. And part of the reasoning behind this is they're saying that, Air Canada's in trouble. Air Canada, um, between all of the inflationary costs, all of the extra costs of just operations, the reduced interest in people flying, that's going to hurt them, and that Air Canada is due for a bit of a fall. So we got people out there shorting them. Now, the funny thing is, with Air Canada, and I'm going to bring Air Canada up here. Just give me a second here. Boop, boop, boop. Let me actually bring over you guys. I think I just need to relog in because it's not showing up. There we go. All right. Whoops. All right. Air Canada. All right. Here we go. So let's bring up Air Canada and we'll take a look here. So, Air Canada to me has already done most of its big dropping. Like, I really, really think that we're towards a low for Air Canada. I don't see us, falling a great deal. Now, it doesn't say that we couldn't. I'm going to go to the 5-year because you can sort of see here's like the pandemic. So, this was the old Air Canada. We're not going to get back there because there was obviously in this whole process of losing and running at a loss for so long, they had to do a lot of things. For example, there was a lot of dilution. So that makes it much harder to recap the market cap to get back up top. So that's not going to happen. But I am still under the opinion that anytime we're under this mark here, right roughly here. So anytime we're under that $20 mark, I think Air Canada is not a bad buy to be DCAing into and, looking to get a little bit of growth. Now, I know after, this is where I did a big play back here. After the pandemic drop, back when it was down around 16, I did buy some and I rode it up to pretty much about, 20 something. And then I sold it because, yeah, why not? So that's kind of an interesting thing. I don't know if I would say that, if shorting Air Canada would be the best choice. There's probably better options out there. And we were talking about BCE. Let's just quickly go over there as well. And we'll take a quick gander here. So BCE, the company that just likes staying nice and low recently. We're down to like 42. That's, oh. And here's a funny thing. I'm going to go to the 15-year chart. All right. So when you look at 42, let's see, right about. So yeah, right about here. So the last time they were this low was 2013. So I definitely see it as a good time to buy. Now it's interesting because when we look at telecommunications in general, it is hurting everything from the interest they've been paying, just to the whole. I think a lot of it too is when people have to cut back. So when the economy is rough with inflation, well, when you start to look at things that you're going to cut, what are you going to cut first? Are you going to cut your food? Probably not. Are you going to cut your gas? Well, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, if you need your gas to get to work, probably not. But where people are cutting are things like, I had this, I have all of the bigger plans that, companies like Bell and Rogers and TELUS have talked people into. Now people are talking them backwards. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't need these, I don't need to be paying $150 a month for this plan. The $100 plan is just fine. So that's one of the issues as well that's happening is that as people are sort of pushing back, and a lot of them are even, you're also having a good amount of churn, people leaving like the big three and going to their cheaper versions. So, there's a little bit of pain in the market for them. Now, once, of course, we get more rate cuts, it'll help them because they all carry a lot of debt. But at the same time, it will make people a little bit less tight with their wallets when all of a sudden interest rates start coming back down. And the funny thing is, it's all psychological because the rates are coming down and they may still be broke as all, just completely broke. But that psychology will get them and they'll be like, okay, yeah, let's actually start spending some money. We're okay now. The rates have come down. To me, the smart people will be the people who basically say, the rates are down, but I'm not biting. I'm not giving in to that psychology. I'll keep investing or I'll keep paying off bills. Those are the people those are the smart people. All right. Vic has just survived Costco. Nice. And we got Dewarley in the house with a thanks. Sammer says SMR and NNE. My deep diving requests are rally crazy. Lots of volatility, but so far so good. Awesome. We should have we should have some more stuff coming up for a vote soon. Because right now we have the two ETFs that we're sort of fighting. XEI won. They did beat PDIV. Poor PDIV. We've given them so many chances. They just can't pull off the win. So, but XEI, and here's the funny thing. I've actually already filmed it. Go me. Go me. It's already filmed. So that's kind of cool. It will be out, of course, tomorrow for the channel members and Friday for everybody else. But that is kind of cool. Vic says targeting BNS below $60. Also got some Nike. Yeah, apps. Not bad, right? We were talking about Nike the other day, and I definitely think Nike is going to be one that will rebound on the other side of rate cuts. Let's see. Burgers says, looks like it jumps during Christmas travel season. Yeah, that makes sense. Vic says, OTEX cutting. Yeah, 1,200 staff. Are they that big? Yeah, sometimes you're saying 1,200 staff. Is Waterloo that big? Well, yeah, Waterloo is. But yeah, that's a big cut. That is a big cut. Now, a lot of the cuts that a lot of tech companies have been making have been just to sort of increase productivity, increase, their bottom numbers. So, I haven't looked too deeply into open text on this staff cut yet. But yeah, that's a significant amount of staff. And we got some banana bread and everything else in Nine's post here. Jonathan says, the bell is so loud your mic gets dimmed for a few seconds. Oh, that's hilarious. Speaking of mics. So I've been having this issue on my videos. I've been trying to get it fixed. And it's actually funny. My videos were fine for the longest time. And then somebody said, oh, it's not loud enough. So I said, oh, okay, sure. So I boosted it up a bit to make it louder. And, I was unaware that if your video is too loud, that YouTube will then come in and sort of pull it down. And when they sort of pull and adjust the sound down, it tends to distort things. So I was at this point where I was making videos. I would listening to them on Final Cut Pro. They sounded perfect. They sounded fine. And then they get to YouTube and they'd sound like either like there was a can or an echo, or they just sounded off. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I tried tons of solutions. I went out and bought that $1,000 mic, which actually made it worse. And I'm like, oh, I don't understand. So I returned it, went back to the old mic. Well, finally, I found out about YouTube and their the way they clamp down. So what I was doing to try to combat this whole thing is I kept increasing my gain. I kept pushing it in the wrong direction. But yeah, so I've pulled it back. I've come up with some settings and that work for YouTube. And I'm like, okay, it's solved. It's fixed. Everything is great. So yeah, so that mic situation has finally been resolved, which is great. Chad says, Vic sold my OTEX last year. Bought more CSU. Yeah, that's not a bad choice. CSU. Oh, did they finally end it? So Jonathan says, yeah, because Halifax had a boil water advisory. Apparently, some water, untreated water, got into the system. So they had to do that while they're waiting for, and they were pretty serious about it. They were like, boil your water for everything, even the water you're using to brush your teeth with, boil it. Now, on the other spectrum, I heard Calgary is doing better with their water too. So both Halifax and Calgary looking great with water. So that's not too shabby. Sammer says sometimes there are good companies, but they are not good investments, and sometimes it's the other way around. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the neat thing is, the next 0 to 100K challenge, by the way, is our summer rebalancing, and I'm eyeing a move. I am eyeing a move that people will not expect. So I'm almost thinking, because it's such an unexpected move in the portfolio, I'm thinking of just keeping it hush hush, not even putting it into Blossom. Because then people could go into Blossom and look at that portfolio and get a sneak peek. And I might even I don't even want to tell the channel members. And I tell the channel members everything. Only because I just think it'd be a big surprise. It'd be a big surprise that I made a move that I made. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it secret. You guys can guess if you want. I'm not gonna confirm, I'm not gonna deny any of the guesses, but after the fact, you can go back and say, you know what? Back there on that Wednesday, I guessed that you did X, and you did X. So, just something to keep in mind. And Al says, I had no idea Halifax had bad water. Yeah, it was just basically Halifax gets most of its water from a lake called the Pockwalk Lake, and that's where they have the treatment and stuff. And because there was a power failure, some of that water got into the system without being treated. So, it doesn't mean that the water was bad. It means that it wasn't treated. Thus, they don't know, because normally when you're treating it, you've got chemicals and all of that fun stuff that make sure it's safe to drink. So, it's almost like if you just went out and drank straight out of a lake, you probably wouldn't want to do that. So, what can we say? HFS is here saying, sorry, late, smashed the like. Yikes, only 3. Are REITs, health, utilities, and bank, oil, gas, metals still undervalued and benefiting cuts? If so, since too many would call in one ETF like EIT better. Whew, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. So yeah, when we look at REITs, health, utilities, bank, oil, gas, metals, right now, the big thing when you're looking at REITs is, of course, the rate hikes. So the rate cuts are going to be really, really, really good for them, because they are industries, they are companies that do carry a lot of debt. So when you service the debt, and especially with a REIT, because think about what a REIT does. A REIT passes on all of their profits. Pretty much most of their profits, they pass that on so they don't pay taxes on them. So when we get to a point where they're not having to spend so much money servicing debt, that's going to sort of free up money within that REIT. It doesn't mean that you're going to get like dividend jumps. Maybe you will. Some of them might raise their dividends. I don't know. But what you will get is you'll have a little bit more money fluent within the company, and that will be what will sort of help propel that price starting to come back up and make them a little more attractive. So that's going to be good. Now, when you're talking about utilities, so we're talking like Fortis and Enbridge and Canadian Utilities, for example, even AQN. They also carry a lot of debt. So that will help, because they're no longer going to have to service that debt. So that's going to be more money coming back into that company, which is great. That's going to help them as well, get them back on the positive side, because a lot of utilities have been like hugging the no progress line. So Fortis, for example, has been in the negative for quite a while, but I still have a lot of confidence in them. I think this is going to be good for them. Same idea with the banks. Now, the banks have that extra burden, though, of the mortgages that are coming. So there's still a lot of mortgages that are going to be coming up for renewal. In well, the last part of this year, and a lot of it, the big chunk is in 2025. So, the next couple of years, they're going to struggle a little bit. Now, part of it is not that it is, I don't even want to say that it's a struggle really, because in a part, one of the things they'll be doing is they'll be looking at what's coming. They'll be looking at how it's progressed as this wave starts coming in. And they may, of course, say, okay, we don't have enough loan loss provisioning. We need to get more money into that. So that will be one of those issues that'll happen with the banks. So you'll have earnings that come out where it looks like the bank didn't really do that great. They kind of just scraped by. Well, it's not that they just scraped by. It's that some of their money got, shunted into loan loss provisioning. Now, once it's all said and done, especially if we start to get rate cuts faster than we expect, that will be a big plus for the banks. But when it's all said and done, so if you got a bank that put in too much money in loan loss provisioning and they don't need it, then that's going to be a flood of income coming back into the bank. So that's going to be kind of cool. All right. Now, let me... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think I got everything that was in that question. So, all right, let's go back to our final look at the charts. All right, bang, we're back over here. Hey, Tesla's still looking good. Tesla's actually they've gone up a little higher here in after hours. So they're up at 247.28. So not too shabby. So the TSX, end of the day, up 1.23%. Yay. Unless you were looking for a deal. If you were one of these people who've been buying and saying, come on, TSX, go down further, give me better deals, then today's probably not a great day for you. But the S&P 500 up 0.51%, NASDAQ up 0.87%, gold up 1.11%, silver 3.23%, and oil up just a little bit, 0.6%, and Bitcoin still in the dumper. Still in the dumper, and we'll come over here. Here's our Bitcoin. Holy cow, look at this. And they had this nice little pump. They had a nice little pump on the weekend, and then back to the week, and whoop. Yep, just not a fun trip. Not a fun trip for fans of Bitcoin, but hold on. Things will get better. Things will definitely get better. And last look at the heat map. Still nice looking green, a lot of green. As Mary was mentioning, CSU, let's pull them up. You can see they've had a nice little run, and look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Vic, look. They have broken 4,000. Vic, they broke 4,000. So you gotta like that. That's fantastic. Yeah. Next stop, 5,000, right, Vic? Next stop, 5,000. That's kind of cool. All right, let's pull this back as we do. Yeah, there's just a lot of green. Look at their Nutrien is even up 2.55%. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Over to once again, it's not a bad day for ETFs. I mean, if the market's green, the ETFs are going to be green. So nothing too shabby there. Over in the US, doesn't look, actually, I liked our market a little bit better than the US one today. And that makes sense. We were deeper into the green than the US, but you got NVIDIA. NVIDIA's doing good. They're starting to come back. Can they get back to, though they're, what were they peaked at here? Yeah, can they get back here? Look at this, 135.58. That's the target, 128. So we'll see how the rest of this week. So they are going to get back to that. I mean, I'm still looking pretty solid on NVIDIA for sure. So, but we'll see. But this is a nice start. A nice start. All right, and we'll get out of NVIDIA, and of course the big story being Tesla. I mean, look at this. This is fantastic. Like here on the 24th of June, they were $182. Today they're sitting at 200, almost 250. So that is absolutely fantastic. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. And finally, once again, yeah, there's just nothing exciting in crypto. Even poor Dogecoin is down 5.95%. So, what can you say? What can you say? So, that's going to be fun. All right, let's get rid of that for the moment. We'll bring things back here. Vic says, I want XIT.TO, hopefully below $50, but shop and CSU driving it too high. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh gosh. And what about Brett? That's a funny thing. I didn't, you know what? Let's find out what's going on with Brett. Let's find out. We'll do this for you, Jonathan. This is just for you. We're going to go to a different site. We'll go to way. Let's see here. CoinGecko. I think we can find out what Brett's doing in CoinGecko. Brett. Let's see. BRET. Hello. Oh, there we are. Here's Brett. Uh-oh. Yeah, Brett's not doing so well. Not doing so well at all. However, let's go back here a second. Look at this. There's also Brett's cat. And Brett's cat is having an even rougher time. Let's go look at Brett's cat. Holy banana bread. Yeah, that's not too good. We'll go to the 1 year. Well, Brett's cat had one high point, but then it's been all downhill. So Brett's not doing good. Brett's cat's not doing good. I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. All right, let's come back here. It's kind of neat. My entire room has this little green glow from the sign. It's fantastic. You wouldn't like my room when it's angry. Anyway, Hal says, I wish I bought Tesla in April. Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. I think the next time Tesla has a really big correction, some people will remember that, things like what's happening now and thinking, you know what? I just got to be in there buying Tesla when they're down. Yeah, and that's not a bad strategy. It's not a bad strategy at all. Michael says, PED and JOB both have zero debt. Oh, I like zero debt. So Job paid off 108 million of debt off over 2 years during COVID to have zero debt. I like that. With 21.2 million, and that's the thing. So let's actually pull this up here. Whoops. We don't need that ETF. What we need here we know. All right. Let's go to Job. All right, so here we are. So Job, which is GE Group in the US. All right, here we go. And I always like just starting with that 3 year. Now, you can see that they struggled a little bit recently. They're down, so they are technically a penny stock. Hopefully, I'm on the right job, but I think I am. Now, they are profitable, so they are actually making money. And just give you guys an idea here. So they're basically staffing solutions, which makes sense. I mean, why else would you call yourself? Why would you want a ticker Job if you're not basically into the jobs? But now, Michael was mentioning about their debt. Let's take a gander at that and see how it looks here. So yeah, it's almost gone. So right now it's still showing 3%, but keep in mind that is from their last quarterly. So if they've had if they've already paid that off, it won't show until they do their next quarterly. But this I do like with Brett. You've got a return on equity. It's for a penny stock, it's not bad. But the return on assets actually pretty good. So definitely an interesting stock. Now, I always say though, and I will, even though I like what I'm seeing here, I will still say, be careful with penny stocks, because when you're dealing with a company that's, that doesn't have a huge market cap, you can have things mentioned. You can have, I just saw somebody said mentioned in a comment a little bit further down the page, so it just popped into my head. They can fall and rise very fast. So you want to definitely be careful. And when you do invest in a penny stock, whether it be something like Job or maybe you got into DeFi, you still want to watch it. You kind of want to watch how it is happening. So DeFi, for example, and let's just do DeFi as well. All right. Whoops, it really helps if I actually go to DeFi. DeFi, here we go. Yeah, here it is. All right, so this one here, and we were looking at it not that long ago, but just go to the 3-month. So it's really interesting. The first time that we were really talking about it on the channel, it was doing well, but it's one of these stocks that, if crypto is not doing so well, neither is that stock. So it's just something to keep in mind that, you can go like, take a look here, $3 back in June. So if you had invested in at this time, right now you'd be looking at your portfolio at $1.75 and going, "Oh dear God, why did I get into a penny stock?" So, but you have to be prepared. If you are a penny stock investor, you just need to really be prepared because a lot of stuff can happen. A lot of stuff can happen for sure. Oh, it's not even up. So anyway, I was saying with DeFi, it went from $3 down to $1.75. So, and that's just since June. So you have to be, now this will do better, of course, once things get back and recover. So once crypto starts moving back up, once we start to see the effects on the halving, which usually can take months, like usually maybe even 4, in some cases 5. That's going to be the interesting thing to see how some of these other companies respond. And I know at least one of you guys have been, sort of stocking aside a little bit of this to see what happens. So, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. You just got to be wary. You definitely don't want to be that person. Like if you buy a penny stock like this one here, you don't want to be that person that buys it at $3, it drops to $1.75, and you're like, oh crap, and then sell the whole thing. If you have that mindset, you probably shouldn't even get into penny stocks, to be honest. But they're a bit riskier. All right, let's get back to chat. I can't believe I just was showing you guys a whole bunch of screens, and I didn't even have the screen up. I can't believe it. I did it. All right. R.I.P. Brett and his cat. Long live Candace and her cat. Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Is the like button broken, people? Yeah, exactly. Hit the like button. Everybody do that right now. I'm going to have another drink of coffee. Oh, that's good. That is good. So, yeah, definitely hit the like button because basically, it's not that. It's just the algorithm. The algorithm is weird with YouTube. So when you hit the like button, it pushes it out because we're trying to get, right now, we're working on our 4,000 subs because at 4,000 subs, we're doing an open to close live stream. So that's going to be a long one. Holy banana bread. But we're not that far away. So right now, and I'm going to refresh the totals right now, 39.47. So that's 53 away. And we'll be doing that long stream. So that will be fun. I am going to, now I will be, I'll be live the whole time for the most part. I will create a couple of small video segments that I can play during it. So for example, if I have to go pee, instead of you guys just looking at my back wall or me investing in Depends, that's not going to happen. We're gonna have a little video that I can play. Just it'll be something finance related, of course. So I'll make a couple of prepared videos. They'll be almost like mini video, like almost like watching one of my videos, but in a smaller kind of segment. So I'll probably do a couple for bathroom, and then I'll probably also have one for if I want to have a very quick bite to eat in the middle of it. Or I might just bring it up and eat with you guys. I don't know. We'll see as we get there, but it is getting close. I have no doubt that we'll be doing this in July. So we are in that month. All right. Michael says job closes at 29 cents with a book value of 97, which is a staffing company in the US, only with insiders buying at 38 to 60, and even $1, which funds bought over. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, this could turn into a good buy. It could, but it is still a penny stock. So there is always a danger with it as well. But right now, the fundamentals seem to be going well. And so for example, well, let's do it. Let's do it right now. I will show you guys this. So if I was looking for a penny stock, some of the things that I would do is we're going to go over here. Let's go to my tools. Oh, I'm making sure I have the screen up. We're going to go with stock screener. And so I'm looking for a penny stock, and we'll do Canada for now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm looking for a penny stock. So I want something small. So I am going to go with, let's see here, stock price. That's going to be one of my big things. All right. So here we go. So my stock price right now. Oh, look, I got a whole bunch of stuff down here already. Okay, fine. Oh, I like this. I got return on equity, debt to equity. All right, I'm going to remove the debt to equity because a lot of times with penny stocks, they are going to have a little bit of debt. There's nothing you can really do about it. What's this close thing? I don't know. Oh, let's see here. Stock price add. It didn't add that one. There we go. All right, there we go. To debt. I do not know why. It's just adding extra ones. All right, we're going to go with the stock price. So 0 is fine, but we want it to be less than, let's just go less than $1. All right, so here we go. So now we have a list of really cheap stocks. So what am I going to look for? Well, right now, actually, they're not cheap because I have this return on equity filter of 15. That's really, really good. And I also have a price performance year to date, and these stocks actually pulled that up. Okay, let's come in here and take a gander here. I'm going to go to the profitability. Let's see here. Actually, let's go to performance, and we'll go by the year to date. So year to date. All right. So here is a company that seems to be kind of interesting. So I'm going to just take a look. Let's take a look at this company. Okay, Steer Technologies, ARGH, they're worth 37 cents. All right, let's come down. Let's take a look at their growth. Okay, that's not good, but they obviously fell big time for some reason, but that's odd. That's odd. Now, when I come down here and I look, I'm going to look over here at their key data and see what's going on here. Oh, this is a kind of an interesting number. I get scared when I see a return on equity this high because that means that there's something in the math that's skewing it, because that's not a natural looking number. The return on assets is also getting skewed by something. Now, they do have a 72% debt to equity ratio. So that would scare me a little bit. So I probably wouldn't get in on this one because of that. But that's just one. We got a whole list here. Here's WP. Let's go to WP. We'll pull these guys up. This is Western Pacific Trust Company. All right, let's take a look and see what they've been doing. Okay, they had this one hike, but look, they actually seem to be making some progress here. Okay, not too shabby. They got a dividend, a 2.272. They got a ½ cent USD dividend. Okay. They do have a positive earnings per share. Let's go and see what we got. Let's see if this one is kind of skewed as well. I'll go into our key data. All right, this is perfect. This is what I'm looking for. 29.57 return on equity. I can live with that. 11.50 return on assets. Fine, I'm great with that too. Their debt to equity, 56%. That's fine. Newer companies are going to take on debt. So this is great. I'm looking at it. Okay, so they have a dividend, but it looks like it's something they just started doing. Looks like they tried to do one back in 2023. Is it an annual dividend? Let me take a look here, because otherwise their dividend looks a little hokey unless it's, and it doesn't even show the frequency of it. So it just, to me, that means that they occasionally pay a dividend. It's not any kind of schedule that I'm aware of. But you will run into some of these weirdness in your penny stocks. But that's kind of the thing that I would be looking at. Now, with the US and with Job, as Michael was pointing out, they would fall into almost into this filter. I think I have the debt to, or sorry, the return on equity turned up really high, so they might just miss out there. But that's kind of how I would be looking at a penny stock. But for the most part, I do my best to stay away from them because they are risky. They are absolutely risky. So just something to keep in mind. Ew, penny stocks. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Ian says, I'm at work. Just stop by to hit the like button. Ooh, gotta love that. It's like, hey, I'm coming in to hit the like button, even though I'm at work. Fantastic. FHS says, you mentioned that you use TradingView for ETFs, and I was hoping that you could go over it, please. Okay, I can do that. Let's get a fresh page of TradingView up. All right, there we go. So here is our TradingView. Under their products, you have screeners, and then you'd go to ETFs. So product view, so products, screeners, ETFs, it brings it in. And now these here up along the top, these are all of the different categories you have for filters. Plus you can add your own filters. So you can add a filter as well. So right now it's looking at the US market. So let's turn it to Canada. So there we go. So now these are all the Canadian ETFs. So let's say I'm looking for a high income ETF. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so first of all, I only want monthly. I want monthly dividends. So I've now only got monthly dividends down here. Do I want it to be leveraged? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. For now, I'm just going to leave it alone. You'll notice too, you can also go with inverse. So if you were looking for an inverse ETF, so for example, HOD. So that's an inverse ETF to oil. So when oil's going down, that ETF's going up. So that's always fun and cool. But right now, I'm not too worried. So now I'm going to go over to yield. So you have a few different setups in here. You can do a manual, or you can take a look at some of these. So I'm looking for 10% and above. So I'm just going to click on that. So right now, I now have a list of Canadian ETFs that pay 10% or better. And you'll see here's, let's see, here's QQQY, QQCL. So that's got the leverage version of QQCC in there. So there's a whole bunch of different things in there. Now, I can now look at this and say, okay, great. Maybe I want one that's not losing value. So maybe I want to look at the performance as well. So I'm not looking for something 30% because if it's paying a huge dividend, I'm just looking, I would just say 0% and above. So something that's not losing money. So its share price is staying the same, but it's offering me 10%. And here we go. So you'll see we got some in here. It's a smaller list than before because it's filtering more things out. So for example, we got HDIV, so the Hamilton Enhanced Multi-Sector Covered Call ETF. So they're doing okay. So that's great. So I just keep adding more and more. So and this is what I do. So if I look at this and I'm not looking for like I'm not looking for that big of a list. I'm just looking for let's say I'm looking for a handful. Well, I'll just keep on making things a little bit more difficult, right? So I said performance 0%. Well, I'm like, okay, let's go to 5% and above. And most of these are still falling in. All right, I'm going to try something. And this is year to date, by the way. All right, let's go. Let's try 10% and above and see what's happening here. All right, so now we got a smaller list, but we've got a small list. I can go through this and start to look and say, okay, here's something I might be interested in. So you'll see here's QQCC, and you guys know I like that ETF. Here's its leveraged version, QQCL. So that's not too shabby. And you'll see here with QQCL, you're getting a 1.34 up here on the QQCC, 1.31. So, that's kind of interesting. It's just a neat little thing. So that's how you would do it. Now, if you weren't looking, of course, for dividends, you've got all kinds of different things. So let's say, for example, you could be, oh, here's an interesting thing. Let's say I just want to look uh, in my own watch list. I can run it on the watch lists that I've put into TradingView, opposed to all of the internet for whatever, or all of the market. Sorry. You can go by assets under management. You've got total return from the NAV, which is basically looking at the total return of just the share price. You can look at niches. So, like, for example, if you're looking for an income, or if you're looking for, you're not going to use it that much, but, short-term 500 S&P, you can look at different asset classes. So if you want to look at for something in currency or commodities, let's see here, management style, a little bit about strategy. So that's like, are they using covered calls? So, you've got like buy right. I think there's a price, what's price wise? There should be a put in here somewhere, but now it's just different strategies. There's a lot of things. Now, in addition to that, you can click on this and you can look at all kinds of different things. So technicals, for example, you might want to look at Bollinger Bands. You might want to look at, there's a lot of things in here that you probably have never heard of. So I'm not going to confuse things too much, but you've probably heard about the RSI. You can certainly do a search and you can put that into your filter as well. So just something to keep in mind when using this. And we'll do more. We'll look into here again more. Just you guys just ask when you want to go in here. If you want to do a specific type of search, let me know. We'll do it. All right. Let's see. WBA tanking. Humble pie for Jeremy. Mogo trading no longer free. Want to charge a monthly subscription? Yeah, that's making Wealthsimple look a little better. That's for sure. All right. Jonathan says, I hit the like button because Mary takes no prisoners. That's true. That is true. It's like she's taking names. She's taking names right in a list. She's checking a list. She's like Santa Claus, but Mary. Let's see. Apple went from 165 in April to 221 today. How didn't I not load up on that? Yeah, exactly. I love apples too. Yeah. Back to Job again. Michael says Jobs, they said the company has no debt with 21.2 million in cash, which book value is, yeah. And that's, once again, that just comes down to, that was on their last quarterly, and that's fine. Trust me, 2% is really, really not bad at all. Al says penny stocks are way too risky. Yeah, absolutely. They're like blindly picking a stock and hoping for gains based on fingers crossing. Exactly. You can skew it a little bit in your favor by using your fundamental analysis. But even then, it's take, for example, black swan events. Black swan events, when they come along, they hurt a lot of companies. And all of our favorite blue chips get hurt. Everybody gets hurt. But a black swan hits, sometimes it can just decimate parts of some of the penny stocks. So that's one of the other reasons you want to be kind of risky, because you don't, it's not like you can prepare for that. It's not like that's going to happen. So it can happen. Enid's in the house. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So Ian says, I get every other Friday off. Hope the full day live stream is on one of them. Oh, well, that's an interesting idea. I'll keep that in mind, Ian. I will keep that in mind. Speaking of a Friday stream, we are still 3 supers away from doing that extra stream this week. So if that's something you guys want to do, let's see. Michael says the president and CEO of NVIDIA selling almost every day, which was a filing today. Okay. Well, you got to look to, when your price goes up really high, sometimes, insiders are going to take profits just for the sake that, when you've got a pump like that, a correction's coming. Why not take some profits? And what happens, as I've said before, a lot of these people will take their profits and then at the bottom of the correction, they'll start buying back in, depending on the rules and the time, because, in some places there's certain rules about it, but it depends on where you are, really. All right. Vic says, Nancy Pelosi disclosed her husband's picks. Also, Kathy Wood and her team have lost investors, 14 billion, including me. Holy cow. Let's see. Kathy Wood managed to underperform indexes by a waste margin. Let's see. Did Powell say today that he may need to raise the rates? I've heard nothing about that. And if he said that, I imagine that the market would react, and there's been no real reaction to it. So I would take that with a grain of salt until we see it somewhere else. But yeah, I haven't heard anything like that. So he didn't talk today. He talked yesterday. I said the market was moving towards lowering inflation. Yeah, and that's I did hear about that he did say that, I believe he even said that there is still a potential of a rate cut this year, but it's not going to happen as soon as people are sort of speculating. Let's see. Why are all the food companies are making new lows each day, like CAG and KHEs and KHC products will be used on the 4th of July? Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm not sure what's happening with the food markets overall. Now, depending on the sector. So up here in Canada, one of our sectors is basically anything in the food services. So restaurants, things like that, they've been suffering big time. And, corner stores have also been suffering. So Alimentation Couche-Tard has, they've not hit some of the highs that they should. A lot of our food restaurants, from everything from pizza, even the Boston Pizzas ones as well have suffered a little bit. But once, of course, rate cuts come along, that's going to improve things. Then people will get out and start, spending a bit more of the discretionary food. Now, I guess in the US, when it comes to big food companies, I'm not sure what's happening, at least with them. Up in Canada, we've got kind of an oligarchy when it comes to food. And they've all been making record profits. And, the government's been very annoyed at them and trying to sort of get them to work towards lowering prices a little bit. So we'll have to sort of see how that all rolls out. But, Michael, I will take a look. I will look a little bit into the U.S. food situation, because I haven't looked at it yet. I have not looked at it. So I don't want to – anything I would say would be absolute 100% speculation. And I don't want to speculate. Let's see. Chad says ZID ETF doing great. Yes, so that's one of the India ones. Yeah, they're a good. I mean, they're definitely a good ETF. And I am bullish on the India market overall. So I definitely think it's something to to think about, to maybe watch. At least put them on your watch list. India for sure. Jackie says, okay, I have a penny stock story. My brother-in-law started up VCI. We bought original stocks at 7 cents a share. They are worth $5.29 today, and have been giving 7% interest for many years. See, there we go. That's a positive story, and that does happen. That absolutely does happen. But here's one of these funny things. I always hear this one thing that somebody says, well, all of the big companies today started as penny stocks. Not entirely true. It's, yes. They started off as being worth nothing. It started as an idea. But a lot of these companies, like these big companies, they weren't even on the market as they were, building their company. They were private for the longest time. Like, for example, look at SpaceX. If SpaceX were to IPO, I guarantee you they're not going to IPO as a penny stock. So, a lot of the bigger companies will stay private until they get to a point where, it makes sense for them to IPO. And, that does happen, because there are, what's the word I'm looking for? There are always complications that when you IPO, you can't have as much free liberty as you had before within your company, because now you're now looking at usually a board, and you're also having to answer to the shareholders at that point. Whereas before you IPO, you're not really answering to anyone. You're answering to the private holders, but that's a little bit different than having to answer to public shareholders. Let's see. Al says, from the TSX screen on TradingView, how do you find the ETF screener? Okay. Oh, okay. From the TSX, I think you're talking about. Let me pull this back up. All right. So, all right. If we go here to the TSX one, or well, TMX, but they run the TSX. What you're looking for is if you go to Tools and then Stock Screener. So Tools, Stock Screener, and that brings you in. All right. Don't buy shark coins. Okay. I've never heard of a shark. Yeah, I don't want a shark coin. Let's see. Canada Ace sent BTC BT. Yeah, bet defoy to the moon. Oh, there. See, that was me. I guess, yeah, when we talked to it the other day, we sent it to the moon, and now it's I just need to start. I need to talk. I'll pump them. I'll pump them. No, I won't. One thing I'll never do, guys, is I am never, ever, I'll remove this. I'll never, ever do a pump and dump with you guys. That to me is low, 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 low. Enid says, I mean, hello, everyone. Don't drive and type. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. Yeah, you should probably, if you're going to type, so if you're driving, you're listening to this in the car, and you got to make a comment. Talking to you, Vic. You got to pull over, make the comment, or at very least, make sure that you just hit a long red light and you were there as it turned red. The person behind you might be like, you could have made that orange. Why did you stop? Then you just yell back, I needed to make a comment. There we go. Chad says, come up on Wealthsimple. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. The U.S. government and U.S. are investing $6 million into FT mining. U.S. is worried about China imports of graphite, etc. Can you pull up FT and give your opinion? Thanks. Yes, I can pull up FT. Let me bring the screen back. Yeah, I know there's been a whole bunch of, and actually, I believe we actually covered this on This Week. We actually, maybe about a month ago. So Fortune Minerals, and we'll just look at the 3-year here for a moment. So here you can probably tell this here is, I imagine that this is because of the news of the U.S. investment in them. And yeah, they're basically, their big product is graphene, and graphene is definitely big time needed. Right now, most of the graphene is coming from China, and the U.S. does want to move move away from it. And just quick, before I get back, I'll finish that. Refresh the screen, Enid, because sometimes it doesn't update the likes for you. But, if you refresh it, then you can actually see what the actual number is. I'm not even sure what that number is myself. I'm just going to take a gander and see. Oh, you're right. It's only 8. Really, guys? 8 likes? Holy banana bread. That's not great. All right, but that's fine. That's fine. Back to FT. So FT is a penny stock, but here's the thing. As Jackie's pointing out, there is this big push, a big investment into that company. So this is the type of penny stock where, if you have play money, this wouldn't be a bad place to put some, because I have a feeling that this could be one that actually does pretty well. Let's go in here for a second. We'll take a quick look at their key data. Yeah, like right now, they're still unprofitable. So I usually don't like to see that. But the whole fact that I do know about the amount of money that's being pushed into them, that does have me interested a little bit. They don't have a lot of debt, 25% debt to equity ratio. But this would be one to watch. This would be one to watch and see how that all rolls out. All right. Okay, let's come back down. Meds I wouldn't touch, but has no revs with $6 to $16 loss and rally. So insane. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I'm not a big fan. Joe says, I think that name brands are suffering from competition from generic brands. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, honestly, the no-name brands taste just as good. why pay more to have, Heinz or, or something else on your label when you can get the no-name brand, pay a little bit less. It's one of those things. Now, I will say, there are some no-name brands that don't muster, but most of them do. Most of them actually do. So that's the thing. Try it. And if it musters, then hey, start buying that one instead. Let's see. He started selling after the split and been selling every day with other insiders pushing shares lower. Let's see. This was today on the Fed minutes at 2 p.m. at the close, which a lady on CNBC read the report. Okay. Well, that I haven't seen that, so I'll have to look at that because that is interesting. Well, let's go to a news site that would normally report something like this. We'll just go to we'll go over here. News. We'll go to BNN Bloomberg. They tend to be pretty good with that. So, all right, let's see here. We got the short sellers targeting Air Canada, which we talked about. Waterloo, which Vic brought up with the open text. Let's see. Bezos to sell $5 billion of Amazon as shares hit record high. Yeah, that makes sense. Vancouver home sales fall. OMERS, Feds announced 11 million. U.S. Fed sought more evidence of cooling inflation. Okay, let's go into here. So here we go. Let's see. Federal Reserve officials said they were waiting additional evidence that inflation is cooling. We're divided on how long to keep the interest rates elevated. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I had heard. I think that came from yesterday. Let's see here. I'm seeing if there's anything interesting in here. Let's see. Yeah, so they're saying until additional information has emerged to give them greater confidence in inflation is on track to their 2% goal. So yeah, they're probably not going to change it for a while, but I know that one of the big rumors going around right now is that, there's going to be a rate cut in the U.S. in September, and I'm a little skeptical on that one. I'm a little skeptical. And here's Jerome said Tuesday that recent data suggests inflation is getting back on a downward path, but emphasized policymakers need more evidence before they begin lowering rates. So it's interesting that would come out yesterday, and then he might change his mind completely today. But I don't see anything in here yet, so that's kind of interesting. So I don't know what to say. All right. Al says, I figured it out, Candace. I removed that question. Oh, okay. No problem. All right. And yeah, we're seeing 9. We're seeing 9 now. 20 people need to get it together. There we go. Come on, folks. It's not hard. It's not hard. Now, I know some people are, I think if you're watching this on a screen, like on a phone, I think you have to do something like turn it to the side or something, and then it brings up the subscribe button. There's some kind of weird thing that you have to do. I don't know. I usually watch most of my YouTube. Honestly, I watch it mostly on the TV downstairs or on my desktop. Let's see. Mary says, agree, Jonathan. How much effort does it take? Well, finger cramps are a real issue, maybe. So we'll leave it like that. I mean, honestly, it's because of the algorithm per se. Like, I don't take it personally if people, like every video I have gets at least, well, not everyone, but a lot of them get, they get a dislike every so often. If I were to do, for example, a video on Air Canada, I know I'm getting dislikes. And it's not because people dislike me. It's because people dislike Air Canada. So, and that's a lot of times what does happen. But, the funny thing is the algorithm doesn't care if it's a like or a dislike. They're like, yeah, it's interaction. If that person cared enough to dislike it, we'll count it. It's kind of a funny thing. It's kind of weird. Vic says Taylor has Swifties and Candace has the Mountaineers. Hit the like button, we shout. There we go. You don't want a Mountaineer showing up at your house. Apparently they're smelly too. I'm just because, of all the mountain climbing. Anyway, we'll leave that alone. I accidentally insulted everybody. I'll leave that be. Vic says, if you show up at Blossom, even the Mountaineers will be out in full force. Yeah, like I'm hoping. I'm actually hoping, like I this time around I haven't made it to any of the big events, but there is talk of doing a smaller one in the fall in Ottawa. So that would be fantastic. I think part of it came was because Brandon sort of seen how many people were calling for Ottawa when he put his post down, and then they completely ignored Ottawa. So yeah, I imagine we're going to see something here, hopefully in the fall. I'd love to see that. If not, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. Yeah, exactly. A Blossom event. All right. So we're coming up to the end of the stream. We did not get the number that we needed to have a Friday stream. So we'll leave that as be. If you have final questions, though, drop them in the chat, and we'll get to those before we leave. I'll have a cup of coffee while you guys do that. I love this. Vic says, might have to fly out just for Ottawa. There we go. There we go. Well, you do like driving, Vic. You do like. Oh, I should bring me back up to big me. You definitely like driving, so that would definitely be fun. That would be fun. Coming up next week is, I believe, and give me a second. Let's go over to Discord, because over on Discord, if you guys are curious about what's going on the channel, just going to Mountain Finance here. I was in my personal messages. We got the YouTube schedule over here. So, oh wow, I have not removed these yet. Why is it every time I show you guys, I end up coming in and removing stuff? Oh, it's because I haven't even hit return yet. All right, so we are currently on, where are we at? Oh, no, I have. Okay, there we go. There we go. We'll remove these. All right, there we go. So the bonus this, by the way, like I said, it is XEI. I'll put that in. Whoops. Why did I put Z? XEI. All right, so XEI is our deep dive coming up on July 5th, but the channel members will get to see that tomorrow, which is fantastic. Now, where is that? Oh, it's not next week. It's the following week. So next week, I'm going to be asking you guys what you want to see. So on July 18th, we got the channel member live stream coming up, and we do whatever. We've had some really interesting ideas in the past. Actually, the one that I thought was my most favorite idea was the tier list. So we did the tier list, which is where I had to rank stocks, Canadian stocks, from like S tier down to F tier. We did that. That one was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, they're always coming up with interesting things. And it's kind of good. It's kind of neat because then we can chill. And where there's a little bit less of you guys, it makes it pretty easy. Now, before then, we will have some free memberships that are going to be dropping. First Sunday of every month, I drop 10 free memberships. So that would be, that'll be this Sunday coming up. So that's going to happen. That's going to be really, really cool. All right. And we just received a dividend from the Banana Bread Company. Hey, that puts us at 2. So we only need 2 more if you guys want a Friday stream. You got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then I'm going to call it. But that's not too shabby. All right. Vic says, I'll eat at Costco, at every Costco. So you'll eat going across the country. It's like traveling from Costco. Where's the next Costco? I will, I'll set up camp at that next Costco until you get to Ottawa. That'd be kind of cool. And Al says, I like that Costco idea. Yeah, absolutely. And Meow is saying, you are getting close to 4K. I know. 53 away. 53. So that's not too shabby. It'll be fun. And then that's up and behind us? I got to figure out what we're going to do for 5,000 because, it's kind of silly. And I guess, even though, I do some of these things for you guys, but at the same time, it breaks up the normal flow. It's It brings some variety that I am just absolutely crazy about. So, for example, when I did the Hot Ones challenge, that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. So, you gotta. What can you say? What can you say? Uh, and I've had people say, "Can you do it again?" And I'm like, probably not. But you never know. You never know. So we'll have to take a look. We'll have to take a look. All right, now let's see here. I do see a couple of things here. Just give me a second here. We got another dividend. Holy cow, it's a double dividend week from the Banana Bread Company, followed by 2 super stickers. We got Kevin and Cass with a super sticker, and I got to look at the thing here so I can see what it is. It's the heart one. It's the heart one. So awesome, awesome. And Jackie comes in with a super sticker, and it's the finger. Well, the good finger, not the bad finger. It's the good finger. All right. And right after that, holy banana bread. You've already earned it. You've already earned it. Stop. Stop. We got Kevin and Kaz coming in with another super sticker. This one, it's the for you and a coffee. I love coffee. There we go. That's fantastic. You guys absolutely rock. So we will have a Friday stream. I mean, you guys you guys used a nuclear option. You used a nuclear option right there at the end. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, let's see here. Today is 3 degrees cooler than it was supposed to be. 109 degrees Fahrenheit is not fun though. Yeah. And here's the funny thing. I spent a summer in Florida, which is weird because most Canadians probably don't go to. Oops, I should get rid of that hole that's taking you guys to infinity. Most Canadians probably don't go to Florida in the summer. I did. I went and I spent a summer in Gainesville, Florida, and I new definitions of heat and humidity. So, but it was fun. It was fun. Let's see here. And Vic is saying thank you, goodbye, all of that fun stuff. Quick little thumbs up from Sandra. Mary saying thank you so much. Awesome. I'm glad. And Al says Jackie just gave the finger. I know it's the number one. It's like your number one finger. It's not the other finger. It's not the other finger. I'd probably get that if I said tomorrow's video is a new deep dive on Air Canada. Then that I would just, yeah. Enid says you guys should give Candace a day off. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm actually doing pretty good this week. I'm doing pretty good. So I'm absolutely on par for what we need to do. Thank you so much, Candace and all. Perfect. That's the best comment to end on. You guys rock. We'll be back here Friday. We'll do it again. We'll close out the week. Can we stay in the green? Will Tesla keep going up? These are questions we'll answer on Friday. Until then, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.